Audiobook excerpt from You're Welcome by Dave O'Connell, read by the author. Korea, 1968. Tank Retriever.
The most telling story I had to write involved an underwater demolition team. They were not part of the 7th Division and normally spent their time in the port of Incheon where there was some water. They were sent to pull a 7th Division tank retriever out of the Imjin River at a spot north of Camp Casey. I was fascinated by the details of how they were going to go into the river and attach cables to the front end of this thing, and a crane on the bank would lift it forward and up and off the ledge on which it was stuck. A tank retriever pulls tanks out of the mud and can lift one clean off the ground. That should give you an idea of the scale of the operation. After a few hours, they succeeded. I could not include in the story how the retriever had gotten stuck in the river in the first place. The division had gone on maneuvers that past summer. The Imjin was swollen from typhoon rains, and the tank retriever was supposed to cross it at a narrow, rocky spot where the current was very fast. The staff sergeant in charge judged that the tank retriever would not make it. A lieutenant ordered him to cross anyway, and the sergeant refused. The lieutenant told the sergeant to get out and consider himself under arrest. The officer then climbed in and headed into the river. He and the crew below all drowned. The current was so swift that the lieutenant's body eventually washed up a few miles downstream near the DMZ. No charges were filed against the sergeant. The only mention of the incident in Stars and Stripes was a 2-inch article on a back page announcing the recovery of the lieutenant's body, with no details of how the body had gotten there or other casualties. It would have all been very harmless had we not been part of the Army's wider public relations machinery. What we wrote was sent to Stars and Stripes in Seoul for publication around the Pacific Theater. They also fed the things they thought might get printed to the wire services like Associated Press. American newspapers usually ran wire service stories as is.